few communities at ARC. I just haven't joined them because I've been so busy. I have found various different outlets for a sense of community, for whether it be because I'm brown or because I'm queer or whatever. But there's so many outlets, I just feel like sometimes it's a little overwhelming for me, and I am scared that I might be ostracized if I join a certain community.
Also, a common trend in queer community is the importance of chosen family over blood relatives, and knowing that maybe our parents maybe don't understand or agree with our lifestyles, how we form relationships. And so it's not necessarily a priority for me to make sure that my parents understand me, because I feel very held and supported and seen in my other relationships.
I like how the people in the community tend to be a lot more open, or at least more caring towards one another, as opposed to the straight community where, no offense, sometimes you see a lot more of like expectations or gender roles that are being passed on them. Most of my friends are also part of the queer community, and a lot of them identify as bi or lesbian.
I was trying to put a video together to this song, like This Is Me, and get a bunch of like local drag queens, and I was gonna like dress up in drag, and sadly it was just something that fell apart. But I really want to. I think it would be so much fun. I mean, to this day I still don't have I have like 4 like queer friends, and I think doing that, like it just like hearing like being surrounded by my community and, you know, people like seeing me it's really nice.
I'm also HIV positive, so I think that's also been a really prominent factor in my experience as a queer person, especially when it comes to like navigating that in relationships and with other people, and especially in the beginning, trying to find community and trying to find comfort. What I really like about being in a queer community, being with queer people, is just I don't have to worry about feeling ugly in myself. There's no pressure to be your most perfect self, at least with me when I'm with my friends, and in that way, because there's no pressure, it allows me to be even more expressive.
I started hanging out with a friend group last summer, and we're all queer in our own delightful ways.
I do recognize a few of the students who go to the Pride Center often. We can often talk about random things like Dungeons and Dragons and just whatever came to mind. And that place also serves as a safe space for us to rant about our day, how an assignment doesn't make sense to us, things like that.
And if I didn't have resources like a GSA club to be in, then I think I would just be absolutely miserable and I wouldn't be as stable as I am. The Pride Center, having it there, it's really helpful. It really makes me feel comfortable with the school a little more. It makes me actually happy to go to school. It makes it more fun stuff.
The QSA is a club that is offered to people who identify with the LGBTQIA+. So I took it upon myself to go up to the mic, spoke in English and in Spanish, and talked about the QSA, went around passing out flyers, and it was something that I enjoyed. But unfortunately, during this last semester, I was so busy, I didn't get that much chance to be a part of the QSA.
In communities where like LGBTQ communities, like club, I would think ahead and think of what people would think if I came out and was just bisexual, and then when asked about it, I don't know. I assumed people would say that I wasn't under that umbrella. I didn't count. It took me a minute to accept myself, and without needing anybody's approval. So.
Rainbow Alliance, and they were pretty great. I'm not sure where they're at with the pandemic. I'm not sure if they're still around, but there is I'd say noticeable queer population on the campus. They were smart, they were funny, they were really engaged in the community. Yeah, it was a great experience. Yeah, I think through relationship you grow and become more mature as an adult. I'd like to grow more comfortable with that side of my identity. be a community with more folks who are like me.
I found community in the Umoja group. They invited me to like, I think they have like village time or something like that, and it was virtual. And then I started going to the in-person virtual village, and I made like some cool friends in the Umoja Center through like visiting the library. I was always at the arts home base and the business home base were my two places where I felt like comfortable.
I'm very grateful for the Plaza Center and how they've been able to help me. The main counselor, main student counselor, she has been one of the amazing people that has been able to help me. Plaza Center has made me feel like it's my second home, to where I can be able to go and be there and just be myself and I don't have to worry about responsibilities or what needs to be done. There I'm just able to like relax and just hang out with people that are among my age and also among my background with regards to my ethnicity.
I was in the CESI. I was a first generation Latina. The program really focused on Latinos in STEM, and I was really into being a nurse or doctor at that time. So I was like, heck yeah, and I joined, and it was nice because you get to meet a lot of other students who are first time in college at all, let alone first generation. And it was nice because, I mean, the majority of the class was Latino, so taking a history class on our Chicano culture was really cool.
I mean, I had a lady at Starbucks who was like, oh, you look so Egyptian, yada, yada, yada. And I was like, oh. She's like, what even are you? And I was like, oh, my dad is Black and my mom's Italian. And her first response was like, oh, where's your color? It was things like in high school, I ran for the Black Student Union president. And like a few of them told me that I shouldn't run because I wasn't dark enough and it was misrepresentation. I tried to put on an event at ARC and I was met with a lot of backlash because of it. Because I wasn't dark enough and it looks like I'm trying to save the community, and that was tough. I mean, ever since I was a child, like nobody believed that I was Black. I didn't choose to come out this light. Like I didn't have a choice, I didn't have a say in it. I identify as mixed, but I identify with my Black culture a lot more than I do with my Italian side.
I think this kind of like stems back to like queerness in the Black community and how it's kind of like an unspoken, like we accept it but we don't talk about it. I feel like I get a little bit like thrown off when I'm in like a openly like queer space because I'm not used to being like in an environment where it's loud queerness. It's more so just like contained queerness, because when I went to the Umoja conference in Anaheim, there was definitely a lot of queer people and it was very nice and it felt very safe there. Like it felt like it just felt nice to be there and I really liked it.
Because of the lack thereof of a community for Asian Pacific, I never really find myself a reason to trust my own community. And it's also because of my parents and their friends and how they treated me. And so it's a few levels of experiences and trauma that made me rather not seek friends in the Asian Pacific community.
If I'm hanging out with a bunch of like, people like me, like Hispanics or Latinos, I might not be fully accepted by some people because I'm trans. But if I go to a queer community, like a queer hangout, sure, it might be majority white because that's unfortunately the case. And so I might be one of only 3 brown people of a group of 16. And so we'll all just congregate together and just stick together. It's not like we're intentionally segregating ourselves because we don't like you as a white person. It's because sometimes there's some slight racism in that community.
I'm also glad when going to community college that I met other people of color. I met other neurodivergent people of color, knowing that they have similar experiences. I am like a firm believer as in like community, like relating to people. And that's the same way in like finding other queer and neurodivergent people with other Black people.
There's not a lot of Black students at Folsom, so I know like a lot of the Black faculty and admin, like anyone Black who I can meet. yeah, I'm friends with. Black and queer, no. But I made Black queer friends at other campuses in Los Rios.
I think it is always important to highlight people of color who are queer and just, queer folks in general still. Despite the bigotry trying to erase our stories, you gotta scream those stories even louder, I feel like especially Black trans people, they are under attack. We, the community, we gotta look out for them and also acknowledge that intersectionality as an aspect.